This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. Being 6 p.m., we'll bring the Tilton Budget Committee of November 19th, 2025 to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. So we will see on the first, I guess we've got Community Action Program. Could come up first.
Rolling
Make
away.
sure you use that microphone because
Making sure.
Suzanne needs that.
There we go. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Well, first, I just want to thank you so much for letting us come and speak and for supporting us for years and years. Tilton has been such a big supporter, and we really appreciate all of that. So we are, as in front of you, you probably have the same information I do.
Yep.
We are once again asking for $12,000, which is the same as previous years. And what we did last year and this year was a little different. We gave you an agency overview. We used to really focus on fuel, electric, housing, and weatherization. And now we're giving you the bigger picture, just because we think it's important for each town to know all of the services that their residents are receiving.
Sure.
So you'll see that. And we do it in two different ways, fun little pie graphs and then a list. I know everyone likes to look at things differently. So overall, last year, we served 599 people, 382 households, total meals 8,658, in a value of services at $646,519 and 86 cents. And you can see how that breakdown of what those services are. They're going to be the ones you know: fuel assistance, electric assistance, weatherization, housing, those types of things. And really, we're here to answer any questions you guys may have for us regarding the information you have in front of you or information you don't have in front of you. So please let me know what question. Sure.
Just so I got this straight, it says that you served 599 people. That's in the town of Tilton.
That's just Tilton. Yep.
And you spent $646,000 in the town of Tilton.
Yes. Yep. For all the services listed in combined. And what we don't include is public transportation. And that's because it's public transportation and we don't collect data like we do on the rest of these programs. So we don't include that information.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at how much money, and then sometimes some years it seems like somebody else is getting the $600,000, and this year we are. But I am a little curious. So obviously, the fuel assistant, electric assistant, weatherization assistant is pretty cut and dried. So Head Start, where does that happen?
So we have Head Start in, oh goodness, Franklin, which is probably most of the Tilton residents go, is in our Franklin classroom at the Trip Center.
Okay, so that's where those guys are using Franklin. Okay.
Yep.
And then in the elder service, Meals on Wheels, those are all Tilton people.
Yep.
Community dining is.
Those are people that are going either to the Tilton Senior Center,
Okay.
Or Franklin. There may be some people that choose to go to that one. They can go to either, and it's people eating congregate meals there.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Great. And the food pantry, is that in Franklin? Franklin Food Pantry?
So yes, we have a food pantry in Franklin now at the Resource Center. And then we also have TFAP, which is the bigger amount, and that is the food that is given by monthly to the food pantries in Tilton, or to the food pantries that Tilton residents have access to.
Okay,
So the two separate things.
Yeah, there's only, I think Tilton only has one food pantry at the Congregational Church, right? For half a day on Tuesdays.
Yep. Yep.
So the other one would go to, what are
They-
the other food pantries?
Yep. And they can go to our Laconia one. They can go to our Franklin one. They can go to any of ours,
Okay.
really. And when people come to them, we do ask where they're from. So we are collecting that data.
Is there, now there's a Twin Rivers food
Yep.
pantry. Is that
So that would be under the
there in there
TFAP.
too?
Yep.
They get some of
They get
that?
TFAP food.
Okay,
Yep,
okay,
absolutely.
great. So housing stabilization programs, what's that all about?
Yes. Okay. So we have ESG, which is emergency solutions grant, which doesn't tell you anything about what it actually is.
Right,
We
right.
know that. And that's a rental assistance program. So like first month's rent, security, those types of
Okay,
things.
yeah, yeah.
And there was 2 individuals and 2 households. And then we have PSH, which stands for permanent supportive housing, which is exactly what it sounds like, a rental assistance where it's longer term. So ESG is a short term help. PSH, permanent supportive housing, is longer term, and it's really about people that are waiting to get on their housing voucher,
Okay.
that have goals, that are meeting with us, or being case management. All of that is involved in PSH. And then HSF, Housing Stabilization Fund. So this is the pot of money where people can come to us for things that other, like not just rental. So like someone needs to get a driver's license so they can apply for a job. That fund can help. So it's a bigger fund. It can do a lot more things. And there was 4 households that we assisted, and that could be like an array of things that it could be. It could be first months. It could be security deposit. It could be something to do with helping with an application fee, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because there's a new, I think, what is it? That are asking to doing stabilization. What group? The Family Promise of the Lakes Region, was that the one that was?
Yep.
talking
They are.
about? Do you work with them?
Oh, we do. Yep.
Okay.
We refer people to them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. They're a great organization.
Okay,
They do a
and
lot of good.
They're very new though.
They are. Well, they've been in the state for a long time. Just they're slowly.
Well, actually,
It's a new
they're
chapter.
they're
Yes.
nationwide.
Yes,
so-
they're amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of what my questions. Anybody else?
The ESGs, 2 people served, and the permanent housing, did they transfer? That's good. 2 different households, or?
Yes, you can't be in both
Yeah,
programs.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
You explain how you can stay in business by asking for $12,000, but giving us $649,000?
That's a great question. I've actually gotten that question a lot this year.
How does that play out?
So actually, let me pull some numbers because I came a little bit prepared this year for this question. And so we are federally funded. Let me find my numbers. 74% as an agency federally funded. So that is fuel assistance. That's Meals on Wheels. We are state funded 2%, which is little. So we have very few programs that the state does. We are locally funded at 2%, which would be you guys included. And then private at 22%. But private includes electric assistance because the electric assistance is provided by the utilities and they're considered private. So that's kind of the mix up. So the way we can stay in is that we get funds for fuel assistance and for electric assistance. But the resource centers, if we didn't have the resource center funds, the town funding, we wouldn't have year-round resource centers, right? We wouldn't have, it would be smaller, it would be seasonal. So we'd have staff there seasonally to make sure you could apply for fuel. And so that's the town funding is kind of a supplement because we leverage so much of the federal funds, the state funds, the private. And so when we're saying we're giving you that much money, that is a culmination of a lot of programs that are giving that money to us and then in return to the residents of Tilton. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a follow-up
Sure.
though. With so much of your money coming from the federal government, I don't know if you pay any attention to
Not at
world
all.
events or whatever, but that money is not guaranteed. And it seems to be held at the whims of a few people. So what happens to you if all of a sudden the tide goes out or whatever?
That's a hot question. I'm going to let our COO, Michael Tabor, answer that question. I brought the bigwig with me tonight.
Gee, thanks. Well, and that really, historically has always been that small possibility. Yes, this is a very volatile time when it comes to this funding and what we're looking at. This shutdown definitely showed that. Now, I know, at least for the next year, most of this stuff is now in place. A lot of it's already been brought into the state and isn't as subject to the whims of, the federal government. Historically, community action has been here since 1965, at least in the state of New Hampshire. It started in 1964. This is not the first time that historically community action has potentially been under attack. Now, we are not directly under attack, but of course, the services we provide potentially are. Under the Nixon administration, actually, there was a very strong attempt to eliminate community action, and it didn't happen. At a national level, regardless of what is happening at the administration level, but when you get into Congress and you talk to the Senate and the Congress, they have constituents back home who need these services. And regardless of the politics and the noise going around at the top, when it comes down to it, who are they really voting for when they get behind and they start doing bills and funding? They're working for the people who brought them there. So I really feel very confident that we will continue to get the support. We will continue to get the funding. Could the nature of the funding change? Could the amounts change? Could the priorities shift? Absolutely. We will shift with them, as we always have. So hopefully that answers the question and provides some confidence.
Good as you could.
Yeah, as
Well-
good as any of us can right now.
It's like TFAP. Is that like part of SNAP? Is that something
It's
like
not
that?
part of SNAP, but it is through the USDA.
Okay.
It is commodity, it's supplemental commodity foods from the federal government that then gets distributed to the local level. And we at Community Action Program, Belknap Merrimack, coordinate the distribution throughout the state of New Hampshire in partnership with the other 4 community action agencies within the state. Historically, under the first Trump administration, that food increased. And there's a lot of commodity foods that currently are not going out of the country due to tariffs and so forth. And so what happens? The government supports those farmers by buying that food and distributing it within the United States. So that's really where a lot of that food comes from. It's
Okay.
the federal government helping to support the farmers with the fluctuation in market.
That's
and
like the
making sure-
government cheese.
Yes, it is. That is exactly
I love
what it
government
is.
cheese.
I know.
That was the best.
I know, I love it too, but
The best.
I have to buy mine as a brand name in the store.
Ugh.
So.
And
yes.
soybeans. No, just kidding.
I know. I was joking about that. Are we
Right.
getting truckloads of soybeans at the moment?
The question I have, when it comes to the pie chart, it's understandable 130 households get fuel assistance, almost 180 households get electrical assistance, but it's only 7 households get weatherization assistance at 113,500-ish at 16,000 per household.
So the reason that weatherization, I always say, is like the lucky one, right? Because some towns don't get it at all for years and years and years because it's done on a priority basis. So if someone calls us and they say, hey, they're on fuel and their system breaks, they jump the priority list pretty quick, especially if it's in December or January. And so we have people on that wait list that will say to me, I've been on the wait list for 10 years. And that is that can be a true statement. So it's not like one person gets $1,000. It's they get what they need. So if it's a new heating system, that's going to be a lot of money.
Well, that's the question is when it says weatherization, you figure you're, weatherizing windows, replacing windows.
Which is
How much are we improving these people's houses?
right. And that's you're right. The name weatherization is really not the best because that's a very small percentage. It's really about energy audits going into the house and determining like, do you need a new heating system? We do insulation, like real things. Like I'm not even sure we do windows. I don't think we do windows at all. So it is a little deceiving. It's much bigger projects than that. And unfortunately, those bigger projects eat up that money quickly so that people that need maybe a little bit less do get on that wait list and they just kind of stay wherever they are on that wait list.
When you do like a new heating system and stuff, do you get any kind of I know like at the town level, if they get general assistance for something like that, the town can put a lien on the property. Do you guys do anything like that?
No.
No? Okay.
Nope.
So if you spend 10,000 on a new heating system, that's just, they could
Yeah.
turn around and sell the house tomorrow?
I don't know the answer to that.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that there is a time frame in which
Okay.
they have to stay there. But I can't be 100% sure
That
without
makes sense,
checking.
yeah.
And then the other question I had, the original question, what happens if the federal budget doesn't come through? What happens to you guys if our $12,000 doesn't come through?
So basically, when we get cuts in town funding, which we've had like over the years, right? Ebbs and flows. The service doesn't go away. It just may take longer. And if we were to get a ton of cuts from towns, then what would happen is we wouldn't have year-round resource centers, food pantries we wouldn't be able to run year-round food pantries. Wait times may be longer for fuel assistance because we would have less staff, so less people processing. So it doesn't go away. It just makes it longer, harder. And then some of the things would, like a year-round food pantry would not be something that because there's just not a lot of funds for that. There's no like big grant to have our food pantries. So that's what would happen. We've seen that in the past when we've had some ebbs and flows with the town funding.
And the total is 112,000 basically from all the different towns. So,
For Franklin, yep, for our Franklin Resource Center.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep,
right,
and we have
yeah.
five
From-
others.
From these towns?
What I did is in the past, I think some years ago, someone asked for those specific towns. So I
Yes.
just continue to give you
Okay,
those.
yeah, just
So
to
those are
compare it.
really both Laconia and Franklin. And that's because at one point we didn't have a Franklin Resource Center.
Okay. yeah.
So then you guys fell under Laconia and now we do have a Franklin. So I just kept the same towns
Okay.
basically.
I didn't total all that up, but
So that isn't just Franklin. That's some of the towns for Laconia as well.
sure. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just did like the vicinity closest to you guys.
Yeah. So the towns that support Franklin are,
Oh, you're going to ask. Hold on. That might be listed somewhere. Hopefully it is because it is. Yes. Andover, Danbury, Franklin Hill, Northfield, Salisbury, and Tilton. And that is listed in some of your packet. Under here, it does tell you under our core program piece
okay,
of paper, it at least lists the towns.
okay, great. Good. Is everybody doing any other questions? Thank you. It's great service. We know how
Thank
many
you.
people, I know many people that are benefited by your services. So,
And we're very appreciative of the town.
yeah, yeah.
And thank you for breaking it out like this. This is.
Yeah, that's very good.
It's been helpful for a lot of the towns because
Yes.
some people are like, it's so much information. So I was like, well, let me make it two ways where it's like really easy and pretty for each page to see quickly. Like, oh, I can tell what services. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Yeah, have a good night. Okay, great. All right. What did you do with my library? There it is. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Now entertain the Hall Memorial Library. You can just give us a quick overview of what's happening, and then we're gonna have a bunch of questions.
Excellent.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll start by talking about our beautiful library building. It's not just a structure, it's a 140-year-old landmark in the hub of our community. Unfortunately, our past budgeting approach was less like preventative maintenance and more like a hope and a prayer. We'd patch things as we could, running on the thin margins, and then pray that we could ignore the rest. Unfortunately, that strategy has officially expired, and we are no longer dealing with a few minor fixes. We are dealing with 140 years of deferred maintenance, and it has finally caught up with us. That $100,000 figure that you see in our CIP fund is a wish list. It's the reality of what it's going to take to address the critical needs after decades of our well-intentioned but ultimately inefficient penny pinching. We need the significant investment this year, not because we failed to plan for the year, but because we deferred all the major essential repairs for the last 20 years. This proposal is about securing the building's future, ensuring we have a safe and functioning library for the next 140 years, and making sure we don't end up here with a major crisis that we need to fix next year.
And your staff is still pretty much the same as it was last year, et cetera, et
Yes,
cetera?
indeed.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
We raised those wages and it got them to stay.
Well, yeah, and if you could tell us a little bit about the money that you need. It's about 100,000 and mostly it's an HVAC system. And do you currently have an HVAC which does heating, cooling, and moisture control, which most libraries have? Do you?
So we don't, I mean, the AC aspect is the only moisture control that we currently have in our system, like just the very nature of AC, but we don't have a specific dehumidifier, which is included in this new HVAC quote. So about 6 years ago, ice had slid off our roof and it crushed 2 of our AC units that are outside. We have 3 big units for the whole building.
Like a central air type of thing?
It's a central
Yeah,
air.
okay, yeah.
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 So the main units are outside and then it filters through inside through AC magic.
Yeah.
And so the ice fell and so we built like a thing, but then, they didn't really recover from being crushed by a giant sheet of ice. So this year one of them failed completely. We have them maintenance every year and he's like, this one is not doing well. And we're like, all right, well, we had gotten 3 quotes from local businesses to get them fixed. And they were all at that time. So this was 3 years ago. We got these quotes. Yeah, 2022, 2023. And they were all around $100,000. And we're like, we don't just have that laying around. So we started applying for grants. And applying for grants and applying for grants. And, unfortunately, you can't make people give you money. So here we are now, but the price has come down because the company that we've been working with, they keep giving us updated pricing and, and trying to figure out incentives. And they recently got this new software where they could see how much the air in each of the rooms takes. So instead of having to get 3 5-gallon or whatever units, we were able to size them correctly for our actual building needs. So it dropped the price significantly down to 81 from the 100,000 that it was before. And then exterior brick sealer. We had our building repointed in 2012 and they said, this is good for 10 to 12 years. And so we got it inspected and they said, your brick sealer is no longer sealing your bricks. And so in order to, maintain the building and not cause further damage, we need to get it resealed. And then it needs to be pressure washed before it can be sealed. Otherwise, you're just sealing in all the debris from the last 12 years. The tile flooring is not part of our asks for this year. That's just another thing. That's more on the wish list item. We can deal with some holes in our tiles. The alarm system, as you know, we were broken into this year. And so it was recommended by the police chief that we get an alarm system so that instead of, what's her name? Nancy at Compass Classical is actually who saw that our windows were broken when she came in the morning and called the police. So, he had a 7-hour head start on us. And then The hot water heater, currently it's tied into our boiler, which means year round our boiler has to be on in order for us to have hot water. It's a higher price because we have to get a commercial grade one because of the fact that we're a public building, and they also have to put a new breaker in the box. Like, we have no hot water heater. It's just runs right off the boiler.
Mhm.
So they need to put a breaker in the box. They need to run new electricity to it. They need to run the pipes to it. They have to pull the permit fee and then put a switch valve on it so we can toggle it for the seasons. And then currently our hot water temperature gauge is broken, so that needs to be replaced as well.
What do you use hot water for? Just
The
the just
bathrooms,
the
and we
bathrooms?
have a kitchen. We have a lot of cooking classes that we do.
Okay. Yeah, because there are electric hot water heaters that are point of use that are much cheaper than this, and they would probably do the same.
Yeah.
Same as a
Oh,
standard.
you're saying like ones that are like in the like hooked up
Well,
directly
yeah, you
to
can
it.
put them at point of use.
Okay.
For one thing, that they're all pretty simple to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got any quotes for that.
You don't take showers or anything, right? So
Right. I mean,
Hopefully
so
not.
it's all basically hand washing or something like that, which is,
Yeah.
there's some really great inexpensive electric hot water heaters that, I mean, it might be more wiring,
Mm.
but pretty much you're just going to change the inlet from water that was going to the boiler to you're just going to connect that to the pipe that already goes to all
Okay,
the sinks.
right.
So you could put actually one heater, a big heater there. I had the same thing in my house where I
Okay.
was spending 100 gallons of oil during the summer for hot water. So I just switched it over to a regular water tank. Yeah. So, I mean, I just think you could,
Yeah.
it
And
shouldn't cost that much. Yeah.
so only the HVAC system and the brick sealer are like quotes that we have decided on. Like the HVAC system, we've been working with this company for 3 years trying to figure things out. The other ones were estimates we got so that we could present some numbers because we have to do these fixes.
Mhm.
So I don't think the trustees haven't voted on a hot water heater.
Yeah.
So yeah, it may come in cheaper as we
Yeah.
explore
I
other
mean,
options.
do you know any local plumbers?
Do you raise your hand because you're a local plumber?
No.
Oh,
Who owns the building?
the trustees.
A tax exempt trustees,
Yes.
which is like
The library trustees.
which is who?
Uh,
Like, who's the entity that in the end, like the last question, if somebody gets an entire new HVAC system and then the trustees say, okay, we're going to sell the building tomorrow. My question what my question really becomes, if this town of Tilton and the town of Northfield start putting 90,000, 81,000, 168,000, 9,000, 6,000 into a 140-year-old building that might be obsolete in a few months with AI the way it is, how much of the building is the town going to own at that point?
so how it works is every town in New Hampshire has to fund a library. And so the trustees are the owners of the library, but they don't own it in the sense that they can sell it. So the towns, as long as the towns keep paying to have the library, then the library exists. If the towns stop using the library, then it goes back to the family that donated it.
And that's the question the town should have is it worth putting good money into bad to update a 140-year-old building? If the town by law has to have a library, let's build one in one of the schools.
I don't know if that's what the RSA says clearly, though. I think we need to.
No.
And that's my concern is we're trying to renovate a 140-year-old building to hopefully get it for 140 more years. I don't think libraries are going to exist 140 years from now. I hate to say it.
Well, and I mean,
And I
we're
get-
asking for $50,000 towards our CIP.
No, I
And
know,
so-
but it's 50,000 in the next year's. And my question just becomes, if town keeps putting 50,000 a year into it, what percentage is the town going to own? Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, what we're doing is supporting a library.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
right.
My question is, in 2025, 2026, I get libraries. I loved my library when I was a kid.
You think that they're gonna go away that
Well, my question is not that they might go away quickly, but $50,000 into the school to get a library closer to where Tilton residents are, more modern, and a better computer system, which will have Google and AI and things of that nature in it. My question is it really worth putting this kind of money, 280,000 plus 92 that was already spent into a 140-year-old building? And I get library service. We're also putting a lot of money into the Pines. So if the computer systems and some of the books that the town has bought over the decades goes to the Pines, how much could we put into that building, which is more modern? I mean, the cost of the HVAC system would make a really nice library. Modern.
An
Modern
$80,000
library.
modern library?
$80,000.
I don't know.
I don't know where
Yeah.
you're buying your construction
Get
tools.
3 quotes at least.
Well, the quotes would
Have you
be
been,
for
have you been
computer
into our
systems.
building?
Yes.
When,
Library should
when
have
was-
books.
because
I
we've been
know,
renovated.
But in the end, there's a certain point where you have to
I'm
question
sorry. I do too.
renovating a 140-year-old building and
Yeah,
every
but we
year
got, with
putting
the
another
renovation, like
50,000.
half the building, half of our space was what, 2000? 2001. Like half of our usable space is 2001. So like, it's not really a 140-year-old building.
But whatever it is, it's a
25-year-old
very,
building?
and you started the process and saying it was, you've had to every year put it off, because it's daunting, it's overwhelming. And as a person who's trying to save money for taxpayers, and every year, people come and say, you have to save, our taxes are going through the roof. How are you going to save money? What are we going to do?
Well,
The
there's
town of Tilton needs to learn the word no eventually. We need to learn the word no and come up with better ideas that are more modern. I hate to say it, no offense.
the librry is
It's a
saving the
beautiful building.
taxpayers'
It
money.
might be,
That's the purpose of libraries, is to save the taxpayers' money. We're
okay,
saving the taxpayers' money when they can't afford air conditioning and they come to our building to do that. When they need to apply for jobs and get resume help,
Mhm.
they come to us.
I feed 15 to 20 kids a week with grant money that we found in that kitchen that is also 3 people's office. They come from this school
Sure.
into my building. And I said to the grant people, I don't care what I do. I said, I don't care what I do. I want to feed the kids. And that's exactly what I do. It doesn't sound like you've been in our building at all. We do a lot more than just have books that are out of date and obsolete.
When
When was the
did
last
I
time
say
you-
the words obsolete or out of date?
What
Your
I heard the
building
words
is out of date and
obsolete. You said the
obsolete.
building is obsolete. You said we
Yeah.
could be.
I'm just asking, what's the point of putting hundreds of thousands of dollars
Ask all the
into a
people who go to the library.
140-year-old building that the town owns nothing when it's finished?
What do you want to
paying
make
for
money
it all?
off of the
Can-
library? Like, we're the
We
library.
we shouldn't be sitting here arguing, but
Yeah, you're right.
Can I
you're right.
say something? So I think you guys, the library, needs to understand that our job is to make sure that we do the best we can for the taxpayers. And you're right, there are a lot of residents that use the library. The library is great. I have no concerns. My concerns are the fact that everything keeps going up year after year. You guys have, in the last 3-4 years, you guys have come in every year with more needs, more needs, more needs. My big thing for me is, where's your ownership in this? You have trustees. Where do we see that you actually raise, let me finish, that you actually raise any funds? It looks like 97% of your budget comes from the taxpayers. So like we talk about the Pines does get grants. They came in this year, not asking for any more money, and they've upped their costs to their patrons, and they've actually increased their pay to all their staff. in their proposal. But there was no increase in their need from the town because they went and did it, raised the prices for the parents, paid their staff more money without coming to us. So I just want to know, like, what is the library doing to make you have some ownership in it? Right? You can't just come to the town year after year after year for more money unless you're showing us that you're raising some funds as well. That's my perspective.
So that 97% that we get from the towns is mostly just operating costs, like keeping the lights on, keeping people in the building. In the past decade, we have applied for 12 grants, and 9 of those we have applied and received 12 grants. We've applied for many more than 12, but we've received 12 grants, and 9 of those were in the last year. So since I've taken over, the needs have increased. We come in here asking for more money because we're righting a sinking ship. So you need qualified people to run the library because, it's not just checking out books, it's not a cashier job. So that costs more money. People need to live. And so we established the Friends group because since our library was so old, we were not a nonprofit in the eyes of the tax. We're a municipality as far as the tax code goes. So we started the Friends group so that we could apply for more grants. And I gave you guys a list of grants in the most recent email that we've applied for and not been awarded, unfortunately. And we just keep applying. But
Okay.
so we're trying. Right now, our Friends group is actually down to a single person. The trustees just had to vote in 2 more members so that they can have a quorum in order to do more recruiting, because we're trying to get civics minded people involved who will help us do the fundraising and the grant writing through that Friends organization.
Right. Grants can be fickle. I know that, but like what are you doing to raise funds other than grants? Are you having events? Are you getting,
Yeah,
are
we
you
just
asking
had,
for donations? Are you doing any kind of drives? Are you having events to like get people into the library to see what you have to offer and have them participate by raising
yeah,
funds?
I would welcome all of you to maybe follow us on Facebook, because we just had our Build a Friend drive, which the Friends hosted. And so people come and it's $20 for a critter. And then it's like Build-A-Bear. So you go through all the different stations and you build a friend. And so, that raised some money, but again, there's one member of the Friends group, and it could be a lot bigger if we had more participation. It's also tricky trying to raise money as an organization that helps those who don't have money, because unfortunately, people who have money aren't coming to the library. They're not coming through our doors. They don't see the value in what we offer those who are less fortunate. So we definitely welcome new fundraising ideas, and we're working on that. Getting the bigger events like golf tournaments and that kind of stuff. But, it's a slow moving progress.
For fundraising wise, we do more events other than what she just mentioned throughout the year. Like for our annual spring festival and our harvest fest, we always have a 50-50 raffle. We do fundraising baskets each year for like raffle baskets. We sold tote bags this year at our book sale to raise money. We opened donations after our break-in over the summer, and we raised a little bit of money from that. We do our best not to ask for money from the residents just because that's who we're serving. We're supposed to be for free. That's the whole thing, that like our mission of that is we're supposed to be helping them. So it's kind of a difficult position, like she just said, but we do stuff where we can, because we do want to raise money on our own. That is like the more that we can get into our library to put back into programs for patrons, like that's our goal, is to always be bettering programs for our patrons. So we are doing our best at the moment when it comes to fundraising with things like that.
Okay, and I can appreciate that, but it's not just about programs. Like you have a building that you just told us is falling apart, right? So your fundraising should be addressing that. Like do a fundraiser to help with the HVAC. You know, you can ask people for donations. You can ask people that don't even use a library for donations. There are people who want to preserve it because it's a historical building. Reach out to those people. Have you reached out to historical societies or anybody to see if they would? I mean, I know they used to do the brick thing where you buy a brick, right? Everybody does those. I mean, there's ways to raise money. I know it takes time and energy, and you probably have the same 3 people doing it, but we all face that in our nonprofits.
We have been doing many of those things. We have a whole list of people that we're contacting and writing, and we are doing that. It's just, the fruits of our labor have yet to come to fruition. So the projects need to be done regardless of if we can do that now or later.
So where were your trustees when all of this stuff has just been kind of coasting for the last 20 years?
You just beat me to it. That was
Oh,
my
sorry.
question. No, that's all right. It was all on the
Where is
trustees.
it? What do you do as a trustee if you're not keeping an eye on your
Well,
building and
we're
knowing what's
different
happening?
trustees.
I know, but has anybody organized your trustees? Do the trustees understand the severity of what's happening when things aren't being done? I mean, I'm not trying to put Mr. Boudreau on the scene, on the spot here, but I mean, how come nobody hasn't been on anybody's radar for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years?
Well, it may have been, but what it comes down to is not only the trustees, but whoever the director is, they manage the day-to-day operation of the library. And so Brittany wasn't in charge. She's been there a long time. She could see what's going on, but she didn't say what would happen. But the past directors, I've known 4 directors, Brittany's one, so the 3 before her, they really kind of let things go. And I mean, I've been a trustee for a while, but I don't know before me who were trustees. I don't know who they were. It's always, I think in the past, what their point of view was, it's hard to ask the town for money. Those previous directors, all 3 of them. So they kind of did some patchwork stuff, like the sprinkler system. Public building, got to have a sprinkler system that works. Well, there were pipes that had a part of the sprinkler system that had been patched 5 times because they kept leaking. Put a patch on it. You don't do that. You got to replace that pipe. But to save money, they said, go ahead and patch it. We spent $32,000 to fix that sprinkler system out of our investments. They had to be flushed. Some of those pipes, I was there all week when they were working on the sprinkler system. Some of those pipes, you could not get water to the sprinkler head because corrosion had clogged them, and they were flushing them. They had to replace some pipes. The worst pipe went to the boiler room, believe it or not, 2-inch pipe would not flush. It was so clogged with material. It went to the boiler room. This had been ignored. That pipe has been replaced out of our CIP fund, right? So, there have things in the past that's happened that it hasn't been taken care of. Well, other than sealing the bricks, and that was from selling residence that was left to the library by a person who estate passed away. So
So
I think I
So
said
the
enough.
original question was, have the
think-
trustees discussed the building and the repair of the building in the last 5
10,
years?
20,
10
30.
years.
Probably not 10 years, but recently Brittany got a hold of a gentleman who retired, who used to work in construction. He would oversee construction. He did a punch list for us. He went through the whole building. He gave us a whole list of things that needed to be addressed for the library. Yeah. So that's within a year or 2, Brittany? Yeah, a year or 2. And so we have that list. Paul Blaisdell, you all know Paul Blaisdell, right? You know him. He's heavy in the fire district. Works in the
Who's
fire
that?
district.
He's part of the Raven. The Raven.
Yeah,
Okay,
Raven.
yeah,
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 he's
yeah.
fire district, big in that.
Yeah.
He and I have started on some of the projects.
She
We
passed
can't
away.
do them all because some of them take a professional to take care of it, like sealing the bricks and so forth. But we have started on that punch list, maintenance wise, painting the rusting door in the front. We fixed a ladder that goes up in the attic that was actually the original ladder from 1887 or whatever. You should see a photo of this thing. This thing was put together with scrap wood and square head nails. That
The
workmen,
same thing going up onto the building.
workmen that had to work up there to put insulation to flush the pipes, they were using that ladder. It was not safe. We replaced that. Paul and I checked out some electric wires up there that were just loose. They were just loose, bare wires up there. We checked them out to make sure they're safe. So we've done some things of what we can do, but there's more to do, and we'll work on them as we can, but some things will take professionals.
Can you get a mortgage?
Oh, I don't know. But a
I
loan
mean,
from the bank?
Yeah, I mean, that
Got equity.
that
it
would
must
go
have
onto
equity.
the equity of that building and spread that out, costing us so much less per year. And these are things that are going to be long-term projects.
Mhm.
So they should be put off on a long term. I just don't understand why you can't use the equity of that building.
I think it's because where we don't actually own it, nobody owns it.
Well,
It's
have you
Somebody
looked
has to
into
own
that? Have
it.
you looked into that?
Well, that,
Trustees?
that,
You would think
we
the
had to
trustees should be
get a
able
loan.
to do it as a trustee
Absolutely.
group.
and that
Yes.
becomes my original concern and my original question, because somebody mentioned, we talked about this building, and this building costs a lot of money. It's 100-and-something-year-old building. So when you find nails, it didn't have electricity when it was built. It didn't have this, it didn't have that. It's the town's building. Investing in the town's building gets really hard for a really old building. And you say to yourself, man, at what point do you say to yourself, is it worth putting this money into this building? But it's in good enough shape and the town owns it. Is the town going to pay that $500,000 mortgage and own nothing at the end of it?
I think that you could, even though, because the trustees own it and you have a board, you have a structure that you could get, I mean, like Compass Classical, right? They just did some refinancing and some stuff and it was a substantial savings. So you could do that if you needed to. But my other question is, I see Fidelity investments and stuff. Do you have a CPA that does this for you? Or is it just a Fidelity account? Like, do you have somebody that's working for you to invest what money you have in the bank and the highest yield so you can get the most interest, the most revenue? I mean, there's somebody looking at that like constantly.
Yeah. Every 2 years, I think we have, I mean, there's a guy always doing it. And every 2 years he comes to a trustees meeting and, we ask him a bunch of questions and
I mean, in this market, you should be doing it more than every 2 years.
Well, there's a
Well, that's
huge
just when we-
fund.
that's just when
but
we
that
ask them.
It's fairly restricted.
Right. Right.
I used to be a trustee of trust funds and I did that by hand back
Yeah.
then.
Are we looking at
So-
ways to invest it and make more
But
money,
you
more
can only
revenue?
invest it certain ways.
Right.
And so
I'm just wondering if we're
I-
up to
I'm
date on
sure-
that.
and I know
Yeah,
they,
we're looking
I
at
know
it.
they moved that
Okay.
over to the Fidelity because that was the best
Mhm.
way to do that. So,
I'm just curious, because I
yeah.
mean, in this time, right, we need
no,
to,
I know, yeah, but
need to
that,
stay up on
obviously that
things.
having them in a Fidelity when
Yep.
before it was just in,
nope, that's good.
So the
accounts.
organization that's setting it up through Fidelity is Independence Financial Advisors. They're out of Franklin
Yes.
Savings Bank. Do any
Yeah,
of you
yes.
use them?
Yeah, they're
They're
good.
doing the day-to-day and setting it up through Fidelity.
Do you have
So
like a sweep or
they're-
anything? Do you
That's good.
move it around? Do you invest it and hire?
That's their call, Independence Financial
Okay.
Advisors. They decide how it's invested and what to do with it. What the only thing that we can do, like Stephanie, our treasurer, has an account she can take some from the earnings, move it to another account so that we can spend that money. But I would like to get back to the building, at least the old building. The deed of trust set up giving of this library to the towns. And in the deed of trust, if that old, I don't know about the new section, that's different. But the old section, if it ceased to exist as a library, it goes back to the family. Whoever the relatives are of the family that donated
Same thing
the
with
halls.
town of Tilton.
Is
It's
it?
town
Okay.
hall, same way.
Okay.
If we
So-
decide not to have a town hall, it goes back to the Tilton family.
Yeah, so the trustees
this.
don't own it. They can't sell it because if it's not a library, it has to go back to the family. It might be hard to get a loan. I don't know if there's no collateral for the
The
bank
building
to
would be
You
the
don't
collateral.
actually own
sell
it.
it. Yeah.
They can't mortgage it if they don't own it.
Whether it
Somebody
gets
owns it.
mortgaged
Come
or
on,
it
somebody
gets,
owns it.
whether it gets mortgaged
Somebody
or it
owns it.
just
It's
gets
held in
dumped.
trust.
We
have
had to
board of
get a loan.
trustees. There's a legal
Yeah,
document.
let's let them.
We had to get a loan for when we did our lighting. We switched to all LED lighting. It's, I think, yep, I have here $45,000. And the town of Northfield took out that loan for us. And so we pay it back through them because we cannot get a loan because of our weird, we're in 2 counties, we're owned by 2 towns, we're like, there's
Well, I
our
think
status.
that
our
sounds to
status
me,
doesn't
if the
seem-
town of Northfield can do that, then maybe the town of Tilton and Northfield could take out a mortgage that
Yeah,
it
possibly.
would be much
Yeah.
easier for the
Bond it.
people to pay that
Yeah.
than to pay the big lump sum of, I mean, you've got like a lot of money here for the stained glass and stuff.
And
but-
whether,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's a
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
5-year
this-
payment or a 10-year payment or a 1-year payment, is it worth putting $400,000 into that building?
well, you
I'm
wouldn't-
sure the
you wouldn't
stained
do
glass
that.
will look
You would
beautiful
Do a
after.
little bit at a time.
Right, right. Have a plan,
that's the
have like a
question.
CIP, right? That you do certain things each year.
And
for the
maybe
10
the
years.
Yeah, well, that's-
trustees
And
and the family say, okay,
you're
if you're
talking about.
gonna, if you're going to invest this much money into our building, then we will give both towns a percentage ownership of that building. And I don't know if it can be done, if the trust needs to be changed. Do the trustees have more stake in the game than, oh, we'll just make the town. And I get it's hard to ask the town because it's hard to ask the town. It's hard to ask the town to put $400,000 into a building.
We're asking for 50,000 from Tilton. Just
In the
just
end,
saying.
it's going to be 280 and 92, and 92 was already spent. But what are the trustees and family doing to improve their building?
all the other not included in the 50,000. We're asking for 50,000. The other $350,000 we're taking care of.
Are you?
Yeah,
When? How?
through grants.
You're
If
gonna
if you get them.
successful-
It's good that you're applying for grants. Don't get me wrong, but.
Yeah, well, like
um,
stained glass windows are kind of a priority, but not really a priority. So when we get the grant for that, they will get fixed. We're not going to come here and be like, hey, we need $100,000 for stained glass windows. We need an HVAC system. The bottom line, we need an HVAC system. So we are asking for that money because we've put it off for 3 years and now one unit does not work at all.
No,
So we're not asking for
right.
$400,000.
That's the most important. Is,
Okay, I'm good for now.
And so this year's request for the people watching the video, if somebody watches the video, is $246,000.
Yes.
From
For
Tilton.
the whole,
For this year,
yes,
From
for the whole
Tilton.
operating
not
cost
50.
from
Yeah.
Tilton.
Okay.
$50,000 is for the CIP line for Tilton because it's half. It's probably 50. Can't find it.
I have a question. God, I am so old all of a sudden, Bill. When I was a boy, we used to go to the Samberton Central Library hand in hand as first graders.
Yeah,
from
through the woods.
over at Samberton Central School. I love the library. But when I was a boy, they lent books. Dewey Decimal System. I learned the Dewey Decimal System there. Which has nothing to do with math, oddly enough.
Okay.
They lent books. But now, when did it become what it is now? Because a library isn't just about renting or lending books. If it was just about lending books, the amounts that you're asking for would go way down. I understand your HVAC system needs replaced. I just replaced one, so I know how that goes. But when did it become that you could go and check out a skill saw or rent hammers or whatever it is you rent out that are not books? What do you rent out that lend out that aren't books?
Great way that we could maybe come together and buy that so they don't have to.
What do you do now? What do you lend?
We got a
now?
ton of stuff. Mostly, we have a lot of stuff we got through grants for kids. We got a lot of backpacks. So like kids having a sleepover, come grab the stargazing kits. Come grab the.
When did you get in the backpack business? And I only say that because you just mentioned
We're in the
backpacks.
backpack
There's
business.
lots of
Believe me,
stuff
we're in the backpack
as
business.
opposed to books.
We got those 2021, but it's kind of evolved over the years. When I was a kid, we had the same thing. We would go and rent books. But when I moved into my apartment, I started renting DVDs. It's kind of just what people need when they need it. It's what the town decides. We don't just buy things like, you know, what'd be cool. Well, actually, I have and still have a go-kart on our Amazon gift because she has not let me buy it because the town doesn't need it. So when I talk to the kids and I talk to the people and we say, oh, hey, do you have that new Shinji Ito book? Like, oh, no, we don't. Who's that? Oh, he's great. Oh, cool. We're going to buy this whole series. And then kids just start. I see kids in the grocery store. Hey, when's the new Shinji Ito coming in? Well, I don't know, but it's coming in. So we listen to the people, and we listen to the children, and we listen to the parents, and then we get those things so they don't have to. That's what the library is.
And Joe, if you do Google the evolution of the library,
I did.
you know what's happening.
I
mean,
did,
all
and
over
I
they're trying to
have, but
find their place in the community.
That's why
This
it's
is,
costing
guys,
us
I mean,
honest to
quarter
God,
of a million
I'm not saying
dollars
this to be a
this
jerk.
year, is because they
You
don't
guys
just
need to
lend
come
books
into the
anymore.
library and see what we do. Come in. I've never seen any of you in
Yeah,
our library.
I have a library
Come-
card in my wallet now.
How much are you
I
Show
guys?
don't
me.
spend a lot of time in the
Because I don't
library.
believe you. Come into the library and see what we do. Come in on a random. Come in tomorrow when I'm cooking with the kids. Come in on a baby story time. Like, come in and see what we do. Come in after
Well,
school.
you know, the things like you have a chess club.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got a
you
chess
have,
club.
You know, things like that. Those are things that people need. To
Listen,
be
two years in a row,
social.
we've had to go to the town and
I
do the
mean,
warrant
and
article
I
thing, and the town
understand
has
that.
proved 2 years in a row that they support us.
Right.
I'm not saying just give us money. Listen, I'm here, Hannah's here, Mike's here, Mo's here because we trust this person. This is not her scenario. We are librarians. We are notoriously antisocial. So we have to come here in groups because this scares us.
Yeah.
It honestly does. Do you know what we did today? Honest to God, I'll show you the feed. We sat in a corner and we discussed how terrifying this meeting's going to be because of understanding that you guys don't have because you don't come in and see what we're doing. And it's not an attack. It really isn't. I know you guys have day
Well-
jobs and I know you're passionate about this community. We are just as passionate about this building and this person running it as you guys are about this town. We love the library and we love these people.
You're
and that's why we're
you're
here.
asking for almost $73,000.
We're asking you to support our
more.
library. And I know it's a lot, but guess what? We didn't
Yeah.
get the funding these previous years to be
did,
able
though.
to put it.
You did.
Okay, well,
Last year you
we
got
had to ask the
19,000
town.
more than what you were asking for from the taxpayers. This year you're asking for 73,000 more.
All I wanted to say.
How much
is
are you
that we're
asking from
supporting
Northfield? Are you asking them for the same amount?
Yeah.
Exactly the same?
Exactly the same.
Okay. Okay.
And the structure
They
and
have to.
reason for
I'm
this
just asking.
meeting and the structure and reason for this committee is to get the facts out to the people who want to watch it and to get all the information out and to be the representatives of the people and start asking the questions. What are the trustees doing? What are the owners doing? How much money we putting into this? What does the town get at the end of putting all that money into it? And would that money be spent in a different way, in a better way? And that's the question we have. If you get enough people to go to town meeting and get the whole $400,000, you just have to explain to them why and justify it. And if they vote for it and they get it, that's democracy. I was at the meeting last year and these guys were frustrated with the whole process. And I said to them at that, don't get mad. That's the process. If the people, democracy is whoever shows up gets their way. And that's what we're trying to do is get videos and get information for people. And I need you guys to start saying to yourself, would you be better off as better librarians putting $250,000 into a brand new facility somewhere in the middle of Tilton so that more people could use it? Or do we keep putting money into that building?
It's all over the place.
Not in Northfield.
Well, that's, yeah, this.
Because that's
well,
the
this
other,
is-
and yeah, and that's the concern is we also have the Pines and there's a lot of programs at the Pines and maybe the Pines can rent out saws and have a kitchen and have backpacks and things of that nature. That's my point is there might be better uses for this money in the end. I think people should start looking at it.
But we
They
just need
should have
to-
started looking at it
Yeah.
10 years ago
20.
when we started recognizing that sprinklers were going to cost, or, breaking, et cetera, 2023, 2024.
Well,
whatever it
Right,
was.
you're,
I mean-
nobody's questioning, what you do, the passion you have for your job.
Right.
But from your own statements, it sounds like you're requesting more and more money because of mismanagement of the trustees and previous directors. So that's what.
And
I
it was
think
a
the
bad
hardest part.
situation
Right.
because they were sitting in a 120-year-old building. Yeah, 110-year-old building. They had that problem. And it said, oh my gosh, how can I go to the town and ask for that much more to put into this building? At what point do you get rid of your car? At the point where it's not worth putting the $800 or $2,000 into it anymore.
Right. I
At
think
that point, I need a new car.
there has to be some ownership
There has
there.
to be some
But
ownership.
this is not this isn't
but
a
of the
Volvo.
previous-
One at a time, please, one at a time.
A
John's
previous
got the
situation.
floor.
That's what I'm just saying. There has to be some ownership of the previous trustees, the previous directors, of why you're at the point where you're at right now. And we,
Yeah.
right.
It's not,
saying like,
it's not a
yep.
criticism. It's just a.
One
It's,
at-
it's
one
not,
at-
it's certainly
yeah,
not a
one at a
criticism.
time, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe, did you want to say something?
No. Thank
Yep.
you, Bill.
Did you want to say?
And
No, I
I
just-
I
I-
love
Just trying to
libraries.
get
As a kid, I had my hometown library. It was on the other side of town. And I had to get there, but I got there and I loved it. But it was not near where I lived and not even close. It would be like going to Laconia to get to the library where I grew up. And that's also my concern is the Pines and the library aren't actually in Tilton. And everybody looks at Tilton as Main Street. Most of Tilton doesn't live in or near Main Street. It's all the way to Mosquito Bridge.
I mean, if you want to pay twice as much, we'll do a second branch in Tilton.
Well,
We're doing outreach. We're doing outreach as much as we can.
Or we build one on a school and make it part of the school system and you put a $400,000 into something at the school that everybody can get to that has a $30,000 computer system.
The school is its
Y'all
own
just
entity, though.
voted.
I know, but I'm saying to you is there might be
towns
better
don't run
ways
the
to spend
schools.
money. There might be better ways to spend this
schools
money.
also, I mean, the fact is that this is a library that's been here for many, many years, and it was always been a two-town system. So if you need to change that, that's a whole other issue that
Yeah.
we don't deal with. We're just dealing with what the costs are to our communities and why they're what you need, and that our recommendations are to make as least impact as possible. So we're asking you to look for other funding sources. But in the end, it comes to town meeting when you can ask for whatever you want. But,
I've seen that line go up in the past. Amended budget at town meeting and the
mhm.
library.
Yeah.
And that is the
library
process.
line goes up
Yeah.
on
Well,
several occasions.
I mean, 47% of Tilton residents have a library card with us.
Yeah.
And an active library card, which means they've been there in the past year. So, I mean,
Part of what we try to do and part of the reason for a CIP, right, is so that the tax rate stays level, right? You put so much money in every year to anticipate this stuff. Well, you
Yeah.
guys haven't been doing that, right? To the degree that you need to be doing it. So this is a lesson,
know.
right, for the trustees.
oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nobody wants their taxes to peak every year. Like,
No.
you're looking for almost 73,000 more this year from us. That's a big impact for people. My taxes went up over $600 last year in Tilton, right? That sucks.
Yeah.
We all can agree that sucks, but you got to keep it level. So you guys need to get your CIP plan in
It's
place and make it
in the packet. Yeah.
like, and make sure that you keep at it for 10, 20, 30
Yeah.
years, because
That's the plan.
this is awful for the taxpayers to have things going up like this every year.
Yeah.
The end result is it costs us all a lot of money.
And then the other shared piece that the two towns had was the island. And back when I was originally on the budget committee a decade ago, the town of Northfield never wanted to put any money into the island. The town of Tilton wanted to put in the island. They were having the concert series. The bridge was on the Tilton side of the island. to the point where the town of Northfield just gave Tilton the island, didn't they?
Mhm.
Because they didn't want to keep putting money into an island.
There
They
was
didn't wanna
yeah,
keep doing
yeah.
that.
They ceded us their interest in the island, but we had to do
Right.
quite a song and dance with the state because the county line runs right through the island, or it did.
Yeah.
We had to get the county line changed.
Yeah, and then the bridge that is currently being refurbished, I can't imagine that was an easy push because there's another couple $100,000. But a grant was found.
Well,
And there
$1 million.
was-
They
Yeah,
originally said 2
well, yeah,
million.
or $1 million.
Gene Shaheen
but they
got us
found the
half
grant.
$1 million.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
So
the beauty of grants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find them.
But that took years.
We're finding the grants. We're applying for the grants. It's unfortunately some things we just can't wait on anymore.
No.
And yeah,
What's
we
the
tapped
next
out the
thing-
money.
What's the next thing on your list? This year
HVAC.
is HVAC. No, I
Oh.
get that. But what are you gonna come back next year? Is the roof failing? Is the beams
Roof's
and
good.
rafters? How about the foundation? It's a 140-year-old building.
Nope, that's solid.
If it's
What- No,
100,
it was refurbished. When was it refurbished?
2001.
2001. Yeah.
Got their
there was a-
checklist. They got their checklist.
Some of those old buildings, and I'm in one.
it's a
So-
historic building.
I mean, when we were looking at the Union School, they wanted to tear it down. The architect says, well, it's going to cost you more to tear that down than to build a new one.
Yeah.
Because the thing is so well built, but because back in those days, they built them right. They built them really well. And I'm sure if we had some kind of architectural analysis, it would help understand what we have there.
Paul Blaisdell just put new outlets in the old section of the building because we didn't have that many outlets. That's how thick the floor is in the old section of the building to get through it to run the electricity.
yeah.
It's solid.
But anyways, I think we
So,
made it
yeah.
clear what we're about and we understand what your needs. So, we'll
Bill,
just
there
keep-
are 3
keep
people
working at it.
online, just so you know.
Pardon me?
There are some people online in case you
Yes,
wanted
is
to.
there anyone online that would like to join the discussion?
Fell asleep.
I don't see any of that, so, yeah,
Chelsea Bennett. Oh, here we go.
okay, yeah, there was.
they're muted
If I
if
can
you're
get it.
trying.
Okay, great.
No, I have this one here. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the comments to show up.
Yeah,
It's
it just
flashed.
popped up
Oh,
and
I
then
think
went
I
away.
just touched this thing here. There you go.
Go.
And we were talking earlier about the cost of our taxes going up and how it gets a little overwhelming. Imagine being retired people who own their house and their taxes went up $700-800 and suddenly they have to sell their house because they can't afford to live in the house that they own.
I don't have to sell my house, but I don't like it.
Yeah. But we don't like it. It's tough while we're working.
There are elderly people it impacts, yes.
And most meetings you
don't look
hear
at me,
is,
Willis.
what are we going to do to get?
You looking
the
at me when you
taxes
say
down?
elderly?
Can anyone understand how the library users saved $633,801?
Yeah, that's my question.
That's based on all the items that have been checked out this year. We have a running tally that tells people how much money they saved based on how much it would have cost them to purchase the items themselves.
Well, that doesn't really save us,
Yeah,
but no, I see what
No,
you're saying.
Right,
saves,
right.
saves the
Residents.
library people.
I'd love to see a breakdown for that. Is that on there?
And there's the,
Okay.
There's a link.
Yeah, can you save that link for us?
I don't want to mess with that, but I'll ask Tim.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
Just so
in
we can
case.
look at it.
Well, she
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it from
that'd be
somewhere. You
great.
can just email it.
Here's a
Because
video.
I'll send it
Brittany
to
was on
Sue.
the link.
Okay, great. Just email it would be great. Yeah, thank you, Brittany. Okay, well.
It's going to cost you $10 for her to send it to you.
You're right. No, I just need the link.
Just before, I don't know where we are in the status of the meeting, but I just wanted to say that as I'm the assistant director of the library, if you did not know, we fully understand how much money this is, and we don't want to be asking for it. Like, if we could not ask for it, we would immediately.
Yeah.
We
Well, you're also librarian, so research could look into, and not to be insulting, but Netflix or This Old House, or let's fix the stained glass in Northfield and have a movie about it. Who knows? You might find somebody who might be
I
willing.
replaced the flushometers myself. That saved us.
No, I'm not saying you. I mean professionals coming in to fix it and to make a movie out of the facts that we fixed and we did the. I'm saying try. I'm saying try. And that's the whole point of this meeting is the trustees. Can you listen? Because the whole point of what our concerns are is the trustees haven't been looking at it. You haven't been working at it. And when you throw out a suggestion, you just blow it all in the air. I'm saying try and find a fix for some of these things. Research.
And that was
Thank
a
you.
general
It's just an idea.
general idea, right?
And
Yeah.
come up with
Yeah,
ideas.
So, yeah. No, yeah. I know you guys are dedicated, it's obvious. So, yeah, we appreciate that. It's just, did you want to say something else?
I just wanted to say that we understand that your job as the budget committee is to make sure that we as taxpayers in the towns are paying the least amount that we
Yeah.
possibly can. And we respect what you do, and you're doing the due process, and like you're doing what you're supposed to do. We respect your jobs. Brittany has taken over as director. It's been a couple years now, but she has taken over, like she said, a sinking ship, and she's doing her best. We understand that as a CIP plan, we're supposed to be putting little bits into that fund each year. That's what we want to do from now on. And unfortunately, we've just expired on this specific thing. Like, so for example, when we got broken into, when the police came in to do the investigation, they came in their bulletproof vests because they had to clear the building, and they had to take their gear off because they were like, it's too hot in this building to be in. And we are a cooling center for the town, and you can't be a cooling center if it's unsafe to be in. We had many complaints. So like she said, one of the 3 AC units is obsolete, and the second one is on its way out. Like, we were running on one the whole summer basically because we were trying not to burn the other one out. It's just this hump and we're going to do the CIP budgeting every year. Brittany is going to improve. She's improving already. She's improved so much on what the past directors and the past trustees from the past 40 years weren't looking at or weren't paying attention to. We apologize for how much money we're asking for. We don't want to ask for this much. It's just this one hump. It's not safe to be in the building anymore in the summer for anybody. This is a need. It's not like,
Right.
this is
Right.
the only part of the budget that we're asking for, minus the wages for the cost of living that we're asking to increase. And we're trying our best to get the grants. We've applied for the HVAC grant, what, 4 times? 5 times? It says it on the paper. Yeah. I think it's 4 times that we've applied for this grant. And as Brittany has said before,
We've applied for a total of $190,000 in just HVAC. And there's 65 plus an additional $65,000 in we're waiting to hear back from for the HVAC.
so we're doing our best, but as Brittany said before, when it comes to grants, and Chelsea would know this as well because she's our grant writer, companies and investors don't want to pay for the boring things. They want to pay for the fun things. They want to pay for the programs. They want to pay for the investing in makerspace and library of things. So when it comes to applying for grants for things like the HVAC and building maintenance and building improvements, there's a lot more, first of all, and they don't want to. Like,
Mhm.
in blatant terms, it's hard. It's much harder, and we're trying our very best to subsidize that money for us. But yeah, we didn't come here to fight or anything with anybody. We just are trying to repair our building that both towns care about a lot. And you know that.
Right.
We've said that many times. But yeah.
Did
that's all.
anybody ask the family that owns the building
About
donations?
Well, it's probably, they may not even exist, right? It's like the Tilton family. I think there's no Tilton family left now. So that's a
Gotta
whole,
be a
that's
trust
a
or
whole other
something.
different
Because that
thing.
becomes the question
if-
of the last person who came up here is, if we put a whole new furnace and windows into a house, can they just sell the house?
But they can't, they don't really own the building.
Yeah, and
They
that's my
donated
question
it
is-
to the town for town use.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like it's more like a loan.
it's not,
It's like
I
they're
mean,
loaning
the
building
thing is,
to me.
There's some legality to it. We'd have to
Probably-
research.
Yeah, it's more
No
complicated
connection.
than just us selling it, I think.
probably no connection anymore. You know, I wouldn't know. You'd have to,
Yeah.
you'd have to go back 150 years, right?
Well, you can bet like the Tilton School has something in set up, even though there's no Tiltons left, there's something there, some kind of a trust or an organization that it would go back to. I mean, it's a huge asset, right?
No, I
So-
think sometimes
We'd
I've
have to
looked
look
at
into
it
that.
in, like in the town of Tilton, that if there was no heirs to go to, then the town would take receipt of it.
Yeah, there has to be some legal
Something like
mumbo
that.
jumbo.
Bill, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What was the building originally built for? Was built for a library?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just,
It's always
Yeah,
been
it
a
was Deer
library.
Park, and the land was donated by Mary Tilton. Mary Tilton? No. Mrs. Tilton? Mrs. Charles Tilton? Yeah, Mary. What? Oh. And then the money for the land was donated by us. I mean, the money for the building was donated by a separate entity, Mary Cummings Hall. Yeah, you're welcome to.
Do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
welcome
research
to
and
look
let us
at the
know.
deed of
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah. I mean,
I
that's-
transcribed it from the cursive too, so you don't have to try to read 1885 cursive.
Right, right. I mean, it's just, you know, basically we've given you our concerns and we understand your concerns. So we'll just keep working at whatever we can. It's a democratic process, and we'll just hope for the best, that you can maybe get some good grants. And
We're
if there's
trying.
anything, you might want to check in to see if the towns can help somehow, both, you know, in the function of being, you know, a holder, like
Yeah, like a
Northfield's
loan.
already done that.
Yeah.
So you have that experience.
Mhm.
You might want to talk to both sets of selectmen about something like that, which would defray the costs over the years. I mean, just like the police building or something, you know, it
Right.
takes a lot of the impact away, being able to spread it out. And it still is, it's,
The-
yeah.
So there must have been some research done when Northfield helped you in the previous years. So there might be some history there that Northfield could share with us about what they found in the
Mhm.
the lineage or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Because they must have done that in order to be able to loan you.
Right.
So maybe that would be interesting to see. Maybe Northfield has something at town hall.
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot easier to swallow if it turns out
It
that there
would.
isn't a family that owns it, and it would just go back to the towns.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
well, then the towns are paying for their
Mhm.
building.
He's gonna send us that.
It'd be interesting to see what they found.
Okay, well, I think we're got a good start on something. So thank you so much for coming in and being open,
Thanks for having us.
and good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, come and see us sometime.
In February is when you sign up on the whiteboard to become members of the budget committee and get in and have a seat every Wednesday. Come on in, join it, and you can be there when the people from town come in and say, my taxes went up and I live across the street from the condos and it's gonna go through the roof.
can't please all the people all the time.
Come on
You just
in.
can't. Yes, I do, Maple. Yeah, I could do that. She's a comfort dog for DOC, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Maybe we'll visit. I'm always at the school because I'm on the board of directors for the school, so I'm always there. So
Okay, committee, we need to address the November 5th minutes.
minutes.
Good night. Thank you.
So having this thing from the budget, from the sewer commission, is that telling me they're not coming in? We're just looking at this?
Well, we just thought we would just get their budget.
I
And
didn't
if
know
we
if it
had
what the-
issues, we could talk
Okay,
to them.
That's
but-
how we left it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm
yeah.
fine with that. I was just
It's a
curious.
pass through.
Don't say
Yeah.
pass through. We still have to look at it.
Yeah.
Stop
No,
it.
and
I read
actually,
it
it's,
when I saw it here.
I know, but some people get offended when you say it's a pass through. What the hell?
Same with the village district.
yeah,
They
we're-
have their own budget and budget committees and they send it,
They do all the work.
and it's a subdivision of
Okay.
the town.
and this is the Lakes Region VNA.
That's the information that you guys asked for.
that we'd
Additional
asked
The
for.
extra stuff.
Okay.
They sent it the next day.
I think
Sewer.
that was mostly Christine.
Yeah, who's not here.
Who's not here?
The sewer budget is there as well, yeah. So if you have any questions, I can email them if you'd like, or I can ask them to come in, whichever you prefer. I did notice that it is down this year.
Yeah, they had done some projects, I think, last year, and so. Yeah.
There were some $90,000 charges from last year that were 30 or 40 this year.
Most of the issues of increases are from the New Hampshire DES part of it.
Well, it's all DES.
Yeah.
The whole thing is the state. Even though we own a part of it, so
Yeah.
do the other communities. The biggest charge around COVID that really spiked their costs, their O&M, was electric bill, because the electric bill is always the biggest bill at the WRVP. It runs everything.
Uh-huh.
And on the bottom left, on the sewer budget, there's a little thing that got cut off, so I looked it up, and it says, "We are on a 5-year increase schedule." So schedule is the word that's missing.
Okay. Right.
Someone doesn't know how to expand or wrap their text.
No, it comes out great in the Excel, just not as great in the PDF.
Um,
What was an excess?
Schedule.
Excess to spent from the FSB account.
Okay.
And I got in touch with the Lockmere Village person, and they're having their meeting on December 2nd. So they should hopefully have their budget for you on the December 3rd meeting.
The budget is all,
Great.
all set, just needs to be signed by the commissioners. And that's our next meeting time to
Yeah.
sign the paperwork.
You're very far away from the mic, Joe.
So can I make a motion to approve the minutes of November 5th?
And I
I
would
read 'em.
second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? I think I actually read them, but I didn't see anything wrong.
Nothing jumped
No, they
out.
look good, yeah. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I-
Aye, opposed?
I abstain.
Okay.
Wasn't at
you
that
were here,
meeting, yeah.
Okay.
Can I just have Sue ask the library one question, Bill?
Is there anyone else on the computer that would like to say anything? Or just, I see there's 2 people in there, so.
Well, we're
One of
one.
them's us.
Yeah, all right.
Can we just find out when they're gonna maybe hear back on the grant for the HVAC? Because that would be helpful. If they end up getting the grant, it won't have to be the 80,000.
I believe they had a list and most all the grants were denied.
No, she said they were waiting to hear from one
Yeah.
more.
Oh, okay.
I'm just curious if they have like a response date or something that they could find out. That would be awesome if they could hear about it before we
They
have to
have,
vote.
looks like they have at least 2 open grants on this that they're waiting to find out about. So
Can
I
you find out when
the
they close?
dates.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Might take care of itself.
It
Okay.
looks like though some of these are just for a portion of it, and that's why they were asking for some of it. I'm just going by what I'm reading here. I don't know if I'm seeing it right, but. I'll ask.
Okay, so the next meeting would be December 3rd. And we're gonna meet with the town.
Yes, but Tim will be here for that meeting,
Okay,
for the budget. The selectmen voted on their budget last week.
okay, great.
So,
So they've already voted on their budget?
John?
Yes.
Do you think we could get a copy of that?
Well, Tim will have it on the he'll have it.
Can we see it before
It'd be
then?
nice to have it beforehand.
Yeah,
if
so we
it's
can-
already
I'll ask him
set.
if I can
That
send that
way we
out
can
to
all
you.
look at it and get our questions.
Were there any new positions in the budget? Do you remember, John?
New positions
Yeah.
now.
No new positions in the planning?
No.
Department?
No.
Okay, thank you.
And you can just email that to us. That'd be great.
Do you want to set up any other meetings at this point? At this point, we only have December 3rd on the schedule. Is there any others that you want to have scheduled?
Can we do that on the 3rd?
Were there any
Once
we
we
were
know.
missing?
We just have to do sewer and Lockmere, but that could.
Did you want them to come in? Is the
No.
first, so you
No,
don't
I-
need them to
I-
come in at all?
No.
I don't see,
I don't care.
I don't have any issues with the sewer budget.
No,
It's,
I don't.
yeah,
Do you want to vote on it?
well, not yet.
No, okay,
Yeah.
just asking.
Yeah.
Pushy.
No.
In case we do have something, but, and then we'll have the Lockmere budget maybe by yeah.
Have it on the
3rd or
3rd.
4th that week.
And then maybe the next week after that, we could vote on everything.
So set up a
On
meeting for December 10th.
Or something, yeah.
Okay.
Now, we have a meeting on the 3rd, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Okay, well, the Lockmere Village is on the 2nd. I'll have the signed document. I'll bring it on the 3rd.
Perfect.
Great, super.
Ta-da.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
And
problem
We'll all have,
solver.
the selectmen's budget, so we can look at that and compare notes. And if we.
It would be
when
nice to
Tim
have that
comes
ahead
in,
of
we
time.
can Grill him.
yeah, I'll ask him to send that
That
out
would be nice
'cause
to have ahead of
it's
time.
2 weeks
Yes,
before the
yeah.
meeting, so
Yeah.
sure.
Sure, we'll all have time to look at it,
Great, great.
before the 3rd.
I have a budget, but there was a slight adjustment at that meeting, so I don't have the updated one. So I'll ask him for that.
Great.
Yeah, it was just the dates was all I had for the meetings. Anything else?
All right.
Joe?
When it comes to the sewer has its own commission here in town, but it also has a commission for all the different towns that come to it. It's a state entity, New
Mhm.
Hampshire DES, but
River
it's
Basin.
owned, the river
Winnipesaukee
basin is
River
owned
Basin.
by Laconia and Franklin and Tilton, et
yeah.
cetera, et cetera,
We know
et
that.
cetera. So they go over all this as they go along, just for inside information.
Joe, you're up.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Did you say second? Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
My jammies are calling me.
That's right.
My fuzzy slippers and my
I tell you what, that young man